Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Look, welcome to the VOD. Just thought I'd pop in for a pretty short late night stream. Had some kind of busy work to work on, so thought I'd just hop in and answer some questions. Give updates on various things. Yeah, I'm gonna be working on some debug NPCs for like internal playtests and stuff like that. So that's what I'll be working on this evening. But very chill task. Shouldn't be too bad. Just kind of a little bit of busy work. Hey, what's up, Toxins? Shade Stomp 55. Poeta 88. Masio. Call 01. Kothic 1. Chapley. X Strong Beers X. Sinris. Caledorian 97. Keltier 83. Octo Wisp. Cardamon. 1 Jono. Chanting it. Tauntum. What's up, bud? Love that name. Daddy Saurus, Eldakis, Nimielf. Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody? Can you give Bears Taunt? I was just thinking and talking about the Beastmaster abilities. That is on my short list. So definitely all the pets will be getting some utility. But yeah, we'll have to decide, like, do we give the swarm pets taunt? Do we give the tame pets taunt? Do we give neither of them taunt? Do we give the swarm pets only taunt or the tame pet only taunt? Do we only give certain types taunt? You know, kind of inclined to think it. I don't know. It's actually a tough one. Hey, Gort84, thank you for the tier 2 and 4 months. Thank you, Gort84. That's so generous of you, buddy. Welcome in. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Appreciate it. No visibility 0. A lot of people have talked about that, but I think as they get more and more identity, people are going to change their tune on that. But maybe, you know, I'm sure there's some people that will just never agree. But, you know, I think as those become more fleshed out, and those are my targets too. Well, the Archer I just hit on a little bit. Ranger, Beastmaster. Obviously Beastmaster I just talked about, and then Ranger. I want to give more love as well, along with the Spellblade. So Ranger, Spellblade, Beastmaster are my current targets. That's not to say I don't have plans for some of the other classes. Obviously, we've got a big, not big, like it's pretty cool. It's like we've got some things in the pipe for Wizard that are gonna be pretty cool. So yeah, that's in addition to this other stuff going on, like the Wizard new mechanics. Hey, Tim Flash, thank you for the tier 1 gift sub. Appreciate that. Welcome in. What's up there, Licks? What's up, baby? Special Agent Dana Scully, FBI. Yeah, okay, I'll just mention it now. You guys are already spamming giveaway. I see that. So, again, we'll just do what I did last time, and we'll just let it run through the whole stream. I'll probably do like 5 at the end, and then that's it. There'll be no FOMO involved. You can just do your giveaway, and then you can head on out. You don't have to stay for the yapping. Nobody wants to hear that anyways. Been watching multiple streamers. Excited for the Wizard changes? Yeah, I'm excited too. Like, obviously, you know, I'll be giving them like more spell lines and just random spells and stuff like that. But I think it'll be cool to have like kind of a unique feeling mechanic for them. Yo, what's up, Flourishing? Thank you for the 6 months, buddy. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good evening. You here for the yapping? Oh, okay. Well, getting ramped up here. No Kirky. I had one earlier, so I'll keep, going a little easy on the caffeine this evening. It's just some Starbies, iced Starbies from the fridge. Streamers mentioned changes to staves and wands. Yeah. So there's going to be like a whole staff mechanic. It's kind of have like a wand functionality to it. There'll be, some magic missile action, some longer cooldown abilities that you can kind of enchant to your staff, stuff like that. And then, obviously, being able to apply Mark of Magic with nukes, your magic missiles, or melee, if you so prefer. And then we'll provide some melee wizard meme abilities that you can kind of use and leverage along with the Seal of Magic, kind of giving you some melee haste. But yeah, the plan is to not make you feel like you need to melee to play just like a caster wizard. That's kind of just more of a special play style that we're going to make available. But hey, Kothic1, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate that. And Cardamon, thank you for the 3 consecutive watch streak. Very nice of you. Yo, what's up, Q? Dude, love you, man. Thank you for being part of the community. Thank you for being the face of M&M streaming, as I like to say. No, seriously though, really enjoyed the stream the other night. Was it 2 nights ago, especially when was working on some stuff. Definitely was good inspiration. Yeah, thanks again. I appreciate everything you do. Anrose MMO, thank you for the 3 months. I like the way M&M Wizard is deviating from the standard mage archetype from previous MMOs. Whoa. Getting blinded here. A little flashbang in game from First ENC. Whoever that may be. No idea. Thanks for all the work you're doing. You're very welcome. Thanks for watching the stream 3 consecutive times. Appreciate that. Travain Cathar. Digging the backpack? Yeah, it's nice. Justify03, thank you for the Prime. Welcome in. Welcome in. Appreciate that. You're here for the yapping. What's up, Bordy Bear? Illusion says hi. We can't wait to get into M&M. Where do you guys hail from? Are you not... Are you like an EQ guild or something? Collusion. Popping a Kirkland? I had a Kirkland earlier. I am drinking some Starbies, though. Trying to go on the... it's like my diet soda for the evening, right? It's just, it's just some Starbies. It's not a big deal. It doesn't have the caffeine content of a Kirkland cold brew. I'm here to ask about spaghetti. Yo, what up, Fat Matt? Good to see ya. Dude, I'm a huge fan of spaghetti. Just a huge pasta fan in general, to be honest. But you have to be crazy not to be. Any thoughts on evil race bards? Do we have many options for that? I'm trying to even remember who can all be bard long term. I imagine there will probably be some like evil race bard unlocks at the very least. And when I say unlock, I mean like through an in-game quest. Just in case you're new here, it's not like a weird microtransaction. We're not doing any microtransactions. That's That's a definite. Nick might have inspired me to get some Starbies. You know what? It's a terrible idea at this late in the evening. But, you know, it happens. Hey, Seriously Ambient, thank you for the tier 1. Welcome in. Glad you are enjoying the streaming content. Minotaur's playable race when? Whenever we get the play as an NPC system in. And Minotaurs. I have coworkers who recommend Costco. I've always kept it simple and gone to the commissary. What about Taco Bell? No. Project N. Project N. Though it is very much inspired by Project M. Dust storms last way too long. 45 minutes straight yesterday. Yeah, I've been meaning to ask about that. Like, if, you know, maybe there's like, because I know I don't control it in the zone table in the database, so I'm not able to, like, hey, Seriously Ambient! Thank you so much for the 5 tier 1 gift subs. It's very, very generous of you. Thank you. So very kind of you. Appreciate that. Glad you are enjoying the stream.
Lance Loudpacks just cheered 100 bits.
Hey, Lance Loudpacks, thank you for the 100 bits. Appreciate that. And Justin722, thank you for the prime. Thanks, everybody. Very kind of you. Yeah, thanks, everybody. That was cool. Yeah, so I don't have, like, explicit control over the sandstorms in the database, at least. So I've been meaning to ask about the duration, because I know they can sometimes run a little bit long, and it'd be cool to have kind of maybe some variance, and have that kind of exposed in the DB to be able, you know, to easily tweak that. But, and yeah, like maybe per zone, you can maybe have like different variants or whatever, but yeah, it's something I will actually add to my list. Been working on like a early access polish list and stuff. So yeah. Any luck with the QA tester hunt? So we're still very early in the process. We're at the part in the process where I basically just get blasted by DMs, and then I spend like a good amount of time just getting him into our basic, like our Google Drive, or shared Google Drive, where we like store some of this stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting process. I will say, you know, we definitely are looking for somebody that is quite experienced. We're looking some, you know, like, so we're gonna ultimately, I think, need additional QA testers. But we're really looking for somebody that, you know, has some experience in working in, you know, either QA or, you know, adjacent kind of fields, and is able to really help us kind of, it's almost like I won't call it like a lead we're looking for, but like it's kind of similar in a way, because we don't really have like titles in the traditional sense, like, hey, I'm the lead or this or that, you know. Like we have obviously like the co-founders are lead designers, but yeah, beyond that, we haven't really like delineated that. So that being said, it is more of a kind of experienced lead-esque position we're looking to fill, but I wouldn't let that discourage you from applying anyways, because as I said, we're going to probably need a number of QA testers later, and you know, things like gameplay experience and experience with the game, and even player skill, stuff like that is going to come much more into the consideration of those candidates. So I appreciate everybody reaching out regardless, because we're going to keep everybody on file, and as we need additional QA, then we're going to again reach back out to the community. So hopefully that makes sense, and it should be a really interesting hunt. We've got easily 40 applicants already. I want to say, well, it's over 30. I don't know. It might be 40 now. We're getting there. But yeah, there's a lot of people, tossing their hat in, and it's really appreciated. I'm excited about the process. Sounds like a lot of work. It's whatever, it's worth it. Kratom, thank you for the Prime. Appreciate that. And Roto Nuts, thank you for the Prime as well. Yeah, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying the content. So, Archers. Yeah, what about Archers? Did they get some changes? I don't know. Did you guys hear anything? Where can one apply for this? So, if you go to the Discord, there's a open roles category in the Discord, and there'll be a channel called QA Tester. You can just go to that channel and see the posting, and then basically you just DM me, Nick Hotz on Discord, your resume, cover letter, type deal, and then like any questions you may have about the process or about the role. I'm kind of handling all that stuff, and then then I'll just grab your submission, store it with the others, and yeah. Not necessarily, Stavel. You know what? I believe in all of you. I think while we are looking for somebody a bit more experienced, like I do think that myself being in QA in the past, like I think it's something that anybody can learn. I really do. It's just about thinking a certain way and putting in work, really. That's what it comes down to. And then as you get more comfortable in kind of just just regular QA testing, then you start seeing ways that you can kind of start micromanaging QA as a whole, right? And setting up test plans, test cases. Made a joke to your clinic director you're going to apply. Hey, I mean, it never hurts. Like I said, we definitely are kind of looking for somebody more experienced for this one. But again, if QA testing in MMO seems like a cool thing to you, then absolutely apply. It's the more the merrier. We love to see who's out there and who's interested and interesting really to work on the project. How many good bug reports are you getting from beta daily? I'm not sure the exact amount or average, but I mean it's pretty significant. There's a lot there to manage with issues and stuff. Obviously, there's a lot of dupes. There's a lot of common issues, and we're looking at tackling some of those. But yeah, absolutely, Blue Queen of Dragons. I highly recommend it. I don't miss having to put together test plans. Yeah, I mean, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with QA. Like on one hand, I kind of just like as a QA man, I kind of like to just what's it called? Just like kind of ad hoc test and just find like a ton of bugs. Like that's kind of more my speed with QA. But other people like really get into it and want to like be super. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm misrepresenting myself because I do enjoy some of the management side of like QA or whatever, but yeah, I don't know, like getting into like hardcore like test case test plan stuff was never really my like speed with it. But yeah. Any giveaway tonight? Yeah, so it's just you do exclamation point giveaway whenever you get here, and then it runs throughout the whole stream. You don't have to bother sending it again, and then eventually at the end of the stream, I'll just like fire off some keys. I'm doing this now so that there's basically like no FOMO associated with like, oh, I gotta be there like 2 hours and 45 minutes into the stream exactly when Nick fires off this giveaway for like 5 or 10 minutes, right? So basically, people can just come and go as they please. They don't have to feel like they're, having to like stay up all night. And I'll actually be whispering the winners, so you don't have to worry about like, oh, did I, get picked and I didn't get contacted. I'll actually be whispering all the winners now myself. After the stream. Kelmore 80, thank you for the tier 1 gift sub. Appreciate that. Hope you're enjoying the content. Any plans for making a phasing system for zones with too many players or picks similar to EQ around 220 plus in Night Harbor makes it not sustainable to play? What do you mean by sustainable? Like not enough content or too laggy? Because the lag issue should be resolved. 220 should not be a significant amount of lag. If you mean content, I mean, that's another thing that we're trying to kind of polish a little bit and like add extra mobs and stuff here and there or whatever. But yeah, no, we're not going to do any phasing, sharding, anything like that. In fact, we think it's completely against, or at least I do. I don't know what other, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think it's one of the worst things you can actually add to a social MMO, just because it basically turns the game into like a pseudo lobby, like channel experience, like where you can just like, especially if you can just avoid bad things or like avoid friction, and just go to another zone. It just feels weird. I want the world to be the world. I want the zones to be the zones, right? Like if I'm here in Night Harbor, everybody should see me here who's in Night Harbor. There should be no phasing. We'll actually just do more traditional MMO servers and bring up servers as population demand requires it. We're not gonna be doing any fancy tech to deal with population like that. Rather just have a bunch of like kind of small to medium-sized servers instead of one mega server. And as we know, sharding is essentially there to solve the problem of a mega server, right? It's, I mean, that's one of the main reasons. Sharding becomes necessary if your game is popular? Well, how do you explain World of Warcraft then 2004 through whatever? They just had a ton of servers, Like, sharding isn't necessary because your game is popular. It just helps. It's a tool to have in your back pocket, especially if you want to do mega servers as opposed to doing traditional old school MMO server communities. Lower pop servers were completely dead? Well, but then that's why you merged the servers. Like, that's why you merge servers as well. You can merge servers, you can open up, we're not going to do transfers, but you can open up free transfers to low pop servers. There's many things that you can do to remedy the situation. Like, there's no way that sharding is needed. It's a good option if it's right for your game, but not needed. When the world is at 1.0, the world will be large enough to spread the herd. Yeah, exactly. Hey, welcome in, Alex. Thanks for the raid, buddy. What'd you get into tonight? Hope you had a good stream. Appreciate the raid. Gotta catch up on your latest videos on YouTube. I've definitely been enjoying those quite a bit. Really nice shorter form content too. So really digestible. Been enjoying those. I think I saw you were in the new dungeon, which is cool. Hope I live long enough to experience the MMOs like this via VR. Exactly. We're gonna all be in the retirement communities, just like plugged into M&M VR Classic. We ended up doing a dungeon with Co-Carnage on unironically. Yeah, I think I saw you guys in Wormsbane earlier. I was handling some kids, but yeah, I definitely poked my head in for a second there. It's cool to see Co in the game as well. Did you have any kind of interaction with him in the party chat? Talk to him about anything? He's gonna stream EA, he says. Dude, that's awesome. I played with him on one of the last EQ TLPs. Very cool. Yeah, I've definitely caught a lot of his EQ TLP streams. Definitely fun streams. All right, I've just been running around in circles for 27 minutes. It might be time to do the work that I need to do. Standard Nick stream? Yeah. All right, let's see here. Just wear a pair of face mask swimming goggles and walk around in real life pretending you're in an MMO. Hey, what's up, Sugar Demon? I don't know where it was, but someone was going through a tunnel. As they were at the exit, they were looking at a city with lights, and it looked awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of cool vantage points in the game. Is this a real giveaway or bots? It's a real giveaway. It's a real giveaway. It just runs throughout the whole stream. So all you gotta do is do it once and then you're good. Fail and Droll at night looks incredible. Thank you. What's up, Mischief Maker? What's up, that guy? How's it going? Will the Ashira City get itemized soon? Telekir. Is it not itemized? There may be some stuff that's not itemized in there, but
Sly Ambient just cheered 1,000 bits.
We kind of have to decide if we want, like, because there's some NPCs in there that are, I don't think they're meant to be itemized, like in the way that you're thinking, like a rare. Some of them are just like merchants and stuff like that, right? So that's why they have, like, names. Seriously, Ambient, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Appreciate that. Thank you for your generosity. I really, really appreciate it. And Azure Collusion, thank you for the Prime. Appreciate that as well. Merchants sell nothing. Make a note. Hey, Incredible, thank you for the tier 1 gift sub. Appreciate that. For Co-Carnage. He's not in the chat, right? You're just, you know, it's just one of those targeted, like, hey, you're trying to summon him here, right? Sorry if it's been asked already, but the third wave invites going out tomorrow. I believe we usually try to, well, yeah, tomorrow Friday. Yes. Yes. I believe that should be the plan. Look at how degenerate I am. I had to, like, check the day of the week. Like, I forgot that it was Thursday. You guys sticking with 200 a week still, or we'll go to 400? So I think we're sticking to 200 plus 1 friend invite for everybody. But we are adding on an additional... Potentially adding on additional 100 plus 1 for everybody who participates in the survey selection poll, which we will be updating here in the next week, probably, maybe a few days. And the idea behind that is we're going to kind of finalize some of the server selection options, and we really just want to get a high amount of people participating in this, and we're going to incentivize it by adding an additional little lottery for those people. So yeah, I believe the plan is that we will actually be emailing everybody that has an account. And as far as accounts go, we are over like 71 or 72,000 accounts now, which is insane. Obviously there's probably going to be a certain amount that are like, you know, never playing again or whatever, but still like 71, 72,000 accounts. Like, okay, take it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, station wagon. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, that won't happen. Yeah, so I don't know the plan. I think we might be resetting it. So definitely take the survey selection poll right now if you don't mind. Mcredible linked it in the chat above. But you may need to do this again in like a couple days or a week whenever we update it. To be eligible for that beta key lottery. So you could go practice right now. Go practice real quick, but yeah. Yeah, what's up, Handy68? How's it going? So when I say 71,000, I'm referring to the amount of accounts that have been made for the game. That's I'm not talking about the beta key lottery. I could be wrong, but I think like 8,000 participated in the server selection thing. And then I lost track of how many beta opt-ins there are. I think we were over 10,000, right? I can't remember what the last thing was. Should consider giving a +1 away to people who win in here. I'm in, but no friends. It's kind of like a special case, but I don't know. That'd be a tough one. There's been a lot of giveaways. Let's put it that way. Last I heard you say it was like 11K opted in. Yeah. 16K you heard from Sean. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's kind of popped off a little bit then. That's cool. Achromatic? No reason in particular. But I think that's a good call out, and maybe there is something we can do for that on the lottery. You know, maybe add a X amount of additional keys, you know, from accounts that are kind of earlier, or you know, and or are, you know, active or whatever, right? So yeah, if it's something that we can swing, then maybe we can do that. I'm glad you're excited, seriously, Ambient. Alright, guys, you know what? I'm not going to be able to work until I, use the restroom real quick. I'm not going to be able to think straight. I drank too much coffee or something. So, hey, I'm going to take a, like, 3-minute AFK break, and I'll be back, and then we'll poke at some work. So until then, be right back. All right, we're back. We're back. All right, so let me check on this real quick. Alright, should be good to show everything. Let's do that. Alright, so basically, Rich generated us a ton of test gear so that we can easily go into playtests with like expected gear levels. Well, it's really a variety of gear levels. You know, you could have kind of like okay stat gear, you know, like kind of more of the common drops, or you can have, you know, halfway decent, you like full on common, or you could be like full rare. You could potentially mix and match if you wanted to, but I think the way I'm going to set up the debug NPCs is that it's like level range, rarity, and then like plate, chain, leather, and then like what stat it is. So I don't know if I'm gonna do this the most efficient way of doing it, but I guess we'll kind of figure it out as I go. But yeah, that's also going to be another thing that's like really useful for when we pick up more of our internal testing a bit. When we onboard, especially when we onboard the QA candidate, that will be, you know, one of the things that we try to focus on more is more internal playtests and stuff like that. Good for testing raid bosses and classes too. Yeah, yeah. And there's going to be some interesting changes coming in. Like, for example, we're taking a look at Charm, and we're probably going to really kind of make you focus on gearing up for Charisma. You know, like, if you don't keep up with, like, your Charisma stat, then it's going to become a lot harder to Charm. So I think... And probably for the initial level rush, unless you've got like a really good plan to gather charisma stuff, then it's gonna definitely be challenging to charm. Will there be more plus charisma gear? Currently, a lot of the gear we find is negative charisma. The negative charisma stuff is not really going to be a thing anymore. It might be on like some pieces thematically, but the reason why there was so much negative charisma gear is that necromancers used to leverage negative charisma for undead charm, and we were also going to make it affect like fear saves and lull undead saves and stuff like that, as kind of like an homage to like the EverQuest mystery about charisma for necromancers being negative. So while that seemed like a good idea on, you know, just for funsies, like when it comes to like itemization, it's actually really tricky to integrate that in a meaningful and clean way. So we've decided to go, everybody just uses like plus charisma. And it kind of makes sense, right? From a fantasy standpoint, like, you know, but yeah. Just said it while I was typing, yeah. I mean, I thought it would. I thought it would be fun. I thought it would be fun, right? You know, pull a quick one like that. But But yeah. You prefer the negative charisma? I mean, I like it too. I do like it, but my people have told me that it's a tricky one. So, you know, it's not a hill I'm gonna die on or anything. We opted to go a different route. Hey, what's up, Derpalurp5040? Hope you're having a good evening. You'd have to unequip all your gear every time you vendor. And yeah, that's another thing too, right? Is that you're not really progressing the vendor thing, right? Which is class neutral. So, and then having to take it all your gear off would be kind of annoying. Favorite class? I really like Cleric, Necro, and Druid, and Spellblade and Rogue. Hey, One Morning Coffee, welcome in. The 48 Raiders, appreciate that. Hope you had a good stream. I think I saw you were in that one dungeon that maybe I shouldn't mention explicitly, but hope you had a good session in there tonight. And yeah, I think, did I see you were like level 48 as well? Or something? Pretty crazy. Nice. Yeah, I appreciate that. Like, I mean, you didn't need to do that, right? Because like beta is kind of fair game at this point, but yeah. No, I respect that a lot. But hey, thanks for the raid, and I'm glad you are enjoying it enough to stream and all that. Alright, I should probably just start chipping away at this as I'm sitting here, or else I'll never get it done. But yeah, feel free to just keep firing me questions, and I'll answer as much as I can. What am I doing here? Kind of lost. So I'm gonna need to be changing these HIDs for sure. So this is the common test gear level 8. So we'll have 8 of these. We'll do test whiz common. Test whiz 8 common, we'll say. And then we'll do it's called maybe I just do this. And then do this. And Nick, do you know if there are any plans to change Ranger at all in any way in the upcoming future? Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be changes to the Ranger. Hey, what's up, Chinny D? Hope you're having a good evening, man. Welcome in. Thanks for the 3 consecutive stream watch. Yeah, so definitely there's going to be upgrades to the Rangers, like, core rotational kit, right? Like, they've got, like, Strike, right? Which is just... Honestly, it might have been the first ability in the game. I can't even remember. What did I put in first? Maybe Ollie put something in, and then I started going ham or something, but, it is, like, one of the very first abilities that ever was put into the game, and, for most classes that have it, I've tried to kind of replace it, and kind of give them something more unique to their class. But you still have like Beastmaster, Ranger, Spellblade that have it. All those classes will be getting a strike replacement, and then they'll also be getting an additional damage dump that ties into their core kit in some kind of interesting way, right? Any plan for new monk abilities? So, definitely want to get new abilities in for the monk. I want to get all the martial classes, like a similar treatment to like what Archer just got. So I want to get classes that don't have a ton more stuff and get them up to par, and then kind of spread out their abilities, add ranks if needed, so that you're always chasing some ability, regardless if you're level 1 or level 59. As far as monk-specific changes go, there's a couple changes that I did make to the stances. Earth Stance has an non-placeholder icon now, which is nice. I'm upping the Monk Earth Stance from 5% damage mitigation to 10%. And I'm also making it increase your block skill by 5. Because monks get block by default without using a shield. It's just part of, like, you know, doing the things with their hands or whatever. The fire dot from both Archer and Monk are being quadrupled in damage. Both they're kind of equivalent right now. Their damage is the same, which is kind of like a temporary placeholder thing. But I quadrupled the damage on that. If it needs to go up even more, which I suspect it may need to, it could go up even more beyond that. The water stance will, the empowered, in the water stance, you'll be able to not only proc a group heal, but it also proc the same amount of mana that kind of scales from the Elementalist water pet. So, if that procs when you're in water stance, not only do you get the group heal, but you'll get some group mana. And air, I didn't add anything to air yet. But I may make a tweak there as well. And I may make additional tweaks, of course. But yeah, those... Oh, and then for Mend, I really want to also make that dependent on what stance you're in, so that you can get a different effect from Mend. Now, I would have done something already, and I started to, like, change Mend to facilitate for that. But then I kind of didn't like the direction of the abilities, so I'm putting a bookmark on that for now, whatever the phrase is. Yeah. Dynamic Mend is a great idea. Yeah, I thought so too. If you guys have any ideas for that, please let me know. I was gonna like make it so that it cures you as well, and then the kind of cure that it does is based on, so like Fire Stance would cure fire spells, water would, I guess, cure cold, and then air would that's the tricky part, because what would air and earth do? And then also, I didn't like that it was so similar to the resistant traits. Fire could cauterize bleeds. Yeah, I thought of that as well. Maybe I do that. Maybe I do like a fire plus bleed or something for that. Or maybe, but I kind of feel like it would be cool if you got another effect as well. Another thing I was thinking about was CC Break, but then again, CC Break is also part of the active traits. But then again, like, I don't know that I don't know that's necessarily a bad thing. It would make monks, like, really strong in PvP if you could get, like, 2 or more CC breaks. That'd be pretty nuts. But I guess it's on Mend cooldown, so it's a shared cooldown. You can't, actually, yeah, I don't know. Well, it'll be something in the realm of that, right? Earth could break stun. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about stuff like that. Is PvP coin loot set in stone? like having coin loot, or are you saying like is it going to be item loot? I mean, it's PvP being coin loot only is it's close. It's close. Like I wouldn't say anything is set in stone until it is, but it's close. Put it that way. But we may talk about it a little bit more. But it's I don't know, man. It's such a hard one to decide on. I think it's it's one that I've struggled with personally. Air could break silence and slows. Not sure those are common in any case. Yeah, I was thinking about like it definitely like a snare like root kind of break. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I was also thinking about making it agnostic for the CC break. Just have it be just part of Mends, but I don't know. Flying kick's still a thing you're pondering? It will be in eventually. I thought we were actually doing some animation work on it, but I don't know if that got shelved or not. There was less PvP on Rallis than Talon or Valen because of item loot. Yeah. When are the Shadow Knight buffs coming? I like how you always seem to want to buff the classes that you're playing, but I respect it. I respect it. A lot of people have been saying like Shadow Knight is like really good. Is that still the case, guys? I think they kind of lost their double Shadow Strike along with like the other classes, but yeah, like SK is I think it's pretty strong, right? Most OP tank for leveling at least. Yeah, but I mean, that being said, like I still want to add cool stuff to SK. I like, even though it feels strong already, I want there to be like other cool stuff you can do. I mean, and that's a case for a lot of the classes. I feel the same way. Paladin is in a sore spot? Really? Enlarge spell when? Yeah, maybe I do add that, actually. For partnering, I would take an Inquisitor over a Shadow Knight. Losing double Shadow Strike felt bad. Same with Life Tap, proc, or a nerf. Yeah, I might make it so that... I don't know. Maybe I just make it so you have an innate chance to double Shadow Strike. And there's no like conditional associated with it. And then we keep the unique. You know what I'm saying? Like we keep the unique effects. Hold on a second. Let me take a look real quick. Friendly Liquids, thank you for the Prime. Welcome in. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Let's see here. Where is Strike? Well, I'll have to pull this up on the DB, but I think that's what I want to do. Sorry, 1 second. So we can just do that now. So what I'll do is, I believe it's called Shadow Strike 2. Wait, hold on a second. Shadow Strike. Shadow Strike 2. I think I gotta just restart on this one. This one's kind of messed up. So what I'll do is, let's just get rid of these, I think. Yeah, let's just get rid of these. Then we'll just reinsert these. With the exception of the last one, because that would cause it to loop until it fails the RNG. So let's do that. Cool. All right. Now let's copy this over to, what is it called? What's the Paladin one again? I can't even think of the name. Restorative Smite, right? So Restore Smite. Okay, let me go back to Shadow Strike. Do Restore Smite. And what's it called? Change that to a 5. Then let's look at Restore Smite again real quick. Get rid of these. Copy these. Get rid of that last one. Copy that back in. Okay. Any plans for AAs in a limited scope for something to do at max level? It's something that we'll consider for down the road. We definitely have some ideas for like different specializations and stuff. Not like full on like talent builds or anything. We're not going to do talent builds. We would do skill specializations, so completely class agnostic specializations. And but I don't know that that's going to be necessarily tied into an AA system. But we may do an AA system at some point. Now, it doesn't mean that it has to be like the one from EverQuest. You know, many games have done alternate advancement in various different ways. So I'd likely think that we'd probably do our own spin on it. Have you considered adding semi-permanent curses like lycanthropy? Yes. Very much so. Very much so. That's all I can say. Vampire race when? I mean, who says it's not already in, you know? More in mechanics or we riot? Yeah, yeah. No, I was mentioning it, I think in your stream, that we're definitely gonna do, we're talking about more in mechanics and how we wanna, what we want to do with that, right? So probably like increased buff durations and different little bonuses and stuff like that. SWG vibes, yeah, exactly. Some wild info drops there. Yeah, I mean, guys, I'm the most easily distracted person ever. This is sad. All right. Okay, well now we have to do the Inquisitor one. So that's Purifying Blow. Oh. I should probably not open that. Purifying Blow. So we'll just nuke this into orbit. We'll grab this. Well, actually, what we need to do is... Let's go over to Shadow Strike real quick. Oh, you know what? I think there's a bug with Restore Smite. I bet somebody mentioned it in chat and I didn't take notice. Yep. Restore Smite 2. Did you see the Kaplan interview? Yeah, I watched, so was it last night? I watched, like, the whole second half of it. I kind of just, like, went to the EQ section. I wanted to hear what he said about EQ. But then I was like, I skipped ahead to the Titan section because I really wanted to hear about the Titan story, more on that. I thought that was, yeah, it was fascinating because there's so many, like, parallels to a lot, like what we're seeing, well, what we saw with the company that made EverQuest. They were early on like, hey, EverQuest 1 isn't going to last, you know, and from what I hear, it's like a common thing at companies, right? Like company wants to make next game so that their company can, you know, keep surviving and whatnot. But like EQ1 still going. WoW still going. You know, they probably didn't need to waste all those tens of millions on Titan necessarily, right? I mean, obviously they got Overwatch out of it, which is it's a big dub. Let's be honest. That's, I mean, at least initially it was extremely popular and well received. So, but yeah, a lot of the other things they did, man, just like with the whole, yeah, it sucks that like you get put into those situations where it's like, okay, you do this, you monetize the hell out of this game, or we have to fire 1,000 people on you. Like that's wild. So I'm glad that he's kind of living his best life now and kind of doing the indie thing. The indie startup, they got they're releasing that new game that he's working on into early access, and you know, they have a similar team size to ours, which is cool. And yeah, man, we gotta get Papa Jeff and Eminem. That's all I'm saying. Come back to us. Come back to the community from which you came. Yeah, the game he's working on is The Legend of California. It's a like Western Gold Rush shooter with like survival elements. It's voxel based, but it looks like not a voxel game, and then it also it's like fantasy California if it was like on an island, but it's not fantasy based. It's just like, well, maybe it is. I don't know, but essentially they have like random world seeds and stuff, and different POIs from like the actual California and stuff like that. It's like takes place during the gold rush. I thought it looked pretty cool. Yeah, somebody linked the Steam link. So yeah, I'll definitely give it a try. Like, I'm happy that he got to just make something that he's passionate about. It's kind of crazy, right? Like, make what you're passionate about, not have to deal with all that craziness over at Blizzard. That seems pretty cool, you know? So, hey, welcome back, Nimmy Elf. Glad you got your Starbies. Has California in the name? I refuse. I don't think it's what you're thinking it is, but yes. Anyways, let me duplicate this, and then we'll flying low. No. I think it's 9 or something. 10? Jeez. Okay. So we'll do this. Actually, we'll do this. What? I can't spell. Okay, so we'll copy 1 through 9 here. Then we will do this. Oh, no. Actually, just do that. And then we'll also change... No, we have to change this over here. Dude, I'm kind of in like... I'm trying not to even go hard with the typing today. My hands get kind of sore. They need to lower property taxes in Night Harbor for real? Yep. I mean, election season's coming up, you know? You gotta get the good Night Harbor people in there. Okay, so do purifying blow 2. Cool. So yeah, at least there will be a chance to get the double hit. That should help the knights a little bit. Any progress on the new shield abilities for the knights? Not yet, but it is on my list for like the either this weekend or this coming week. Probably my next stream, because tonight I just decided to fire up the stream and work on some kind of like really busy work that's not like core development, but it's gonna help us test stuff. So I'm working on some debug NPCs because we got a bunch of test gear from Rich. I basically requested like, hey, you know, since he's doing so much itemization and stubbing in items and stuff, is like, hey, can we just get like a bunch of gear sets for just testing on like PTR or internal tests and stuff? So, is there a level 50 restricted world boss? I was thinking about that. I don't know if I'll actually do one. I think maybe I should. I mean, yeah, I'll probably end up. We'll see. I'm going to be talking with Sean about encounters coming up soon, and because I'd like to get some additional ones added, and some of the additional ones that exist, I'd like to flesh out their encounter mechanics and get them loot. So that's also on kind of my short list as well. But I'm going to be talking with Sean about some of that. Make sure we're all kind of thinking about them in the same way and getting good opportunities to add them in at good spots and with good like lore tie-ins and all that. Will you have a sleeper one-time encounter part server? I imagine we'll probably maybe do something like that eventually. I know it's sleeper was really contentious, but I think events like that could be really cool if done correctly. Game's been fabulous to play, by the way. I got to level 12 and I can't stop crafting. Nice! I'm really glad you're enjoying the crafting. Like, crafting, like... It's kind of just like a side project for me for a really long time, and then eventually we got a trade skill developer who's been like polishing things and adding some new stuff, so... Glad you like them. They're kind of my baby. What's coming for Spellblade before EA? Their core rotational kit will become more fleshed out, and they will get many different infusions, or at least a few different infusions, right? All right, so let me make a quick note about this in my upcoming patch notes. Restorative Smite now has a chance to strike an additional time. It's a passive chance. And then we'll just copy pasta that for Shadow Knight as well. And we'll say Shadow Strike. And then we'll copy pasta that again. Inquisitor. Purifying Blow. Okay. Cool. Patch notes updated. Alex says, do not nerf SKs. Well, to be honest, he came in the stream, he asked for a buff. And I gave him a buff on the spot, you know? Like, well, you know, it made me think of something that I wanted to buff. It wasn't coddling or anything like that. It was an honest reminder that I actually needed to do something that slightly buffs them. Real question, how do you feel about Necromancer right now? I kind of want to play around with it myself. Like, I want to make sure that... Because the pets definitely got a bit nerfed on them. And obviously the tick sitting change happened, so that's also kind of something there. But... Yeah, I don't know that I have like good. I feel they're in a good spot, but I want to confirm that by like giving them a go soon. But obviously people complain about the dots. I feel like the dots will become more useful pretty soon, and that is due to like TTK increases and. But I think that the TTK increases are going to be related to armor changes. So if the HP isn't going up, then the dots will at least keep their current effectiveness. But if you're in a group setting, you may have you may get like a chance to get like the full uptime on like a 30-second dot line at least. So I could see them being like good, but it may just be a thing where we need to buff the dots a little bit as well. Sorry, that answer was a little bit all over the place. Hopefully you followed. Well, keep in mind, like, your pets are meant to be able to, like, dual wield and double attack. Like, of course, like, you have to get a certain level for that, and then also your weapons are meant to, like, weapons and gear are meant to impact the pets as well. And I don't know that that's happening. So, I imagine that they're in a, like, they're in a spot that is lesser than they're meant to be. But, yeah, it could just be a thing where the dot tuning is off, or... Anything new planned for monks? I was talking about it earlier. Basically, I've upgraded Celestial Strike for Water Stance, Fire Stance, and Earth Stance. And Mend will probably be getting a conditional as well based on what stance you're in. So an additional effect. Will Elementalists get fun summon items we can give to pets? Yeah, I mean, I put in those, like, water spears and all those different things with that in mind. So that plus, like, summoned armor and stuff like that, I think would be really neat. Still more that we can do there. All right, let us continue on with this task, though. Then let me also do... Yeah. We'll do, this. Cool. Still figuring out how exactly I'm going to do this, but just play it by ear. This. So what we're doing here is we're generating NPCs. These will be the NPCs that you talk to get the quest. Basically, I could even just show you. Debug NPC. Dog, tattered cloth armor, human male. All right, so this dude here. Originally, I created these guys as like kind of like a show off of like the armor. So like, yeah, this guy is wearing full tattered cloth armor, and then I did this for like every armor set that we had in the game at the time, which were like all the basic ones, like cloth, wool, you know, steel plate, steel chain, you know, bronze, leather. But then I repurposed them to also do this. So if you hail them, it's like, hey, do you want to give? Do you want me to give you my specific debug items? So if you say items to him, he'll give you a full set of tattered cloth armor. So like so, right? Get all this junk, right? Oh great. Because, you know. Yeah, that's... I don't actually need that, but then you can also do, like, hey, do you need money? Do you need a backpack, satchel, pouch, food, drink, wood, arrow, throwing dagger, lantern, spellbook, bind ring? So basically just made debug NPCs so we can, like, test really quickly. Do you need a beta key? Yeah. Will there be multi-questing? No plans for multi-questing. While it was like a cool little quirk that you could do in EQ, I do think there was like a certain amount of like weirdness to it, and not really having to do the content yourself. Like it'd be really cool if people just had to do their epic. You know what I mean? Like I really do appreciate MQ in EQ, but it was something that we didn't want to replicate. Yeah, multi-quest, I doubt it was intended. I am pretty sure it wasn't. That being said, I do think that bugs are cool and sometimes make a game, like... I mean, I'm not going to say that multi-questing, the game was better because of multi-questing, but there's a certain degree that I appreciated about it. But again, we're not doing it, so no big deal. Can you share quests in this game with your party? So there's no traditional like flagging or quest acquisition system. You just go talk to NPCs with your chat log. You literally talk to them like they're like a player, and you kind of like fish for keywords. But yeah, like your group mates could tell you about a quest, or you know, hey, you need to grab this quest item, but you don't need the quest to grab the quest item if it drops. It's not like some kind of flagging system like WoW has. What do you guys think about the criticism of too much like EQ? Any plans to add features or clear differences from EQ? I mean, there is definitely features and clear differences from EQ already in there. And there's plans for more of it, right? And not too worried about the criticisms. Obviously, like, I think that being super inspired by EQ is, I mean, that's one reason that a good amount of people want to play it, you know? So that there's that. But then there's also an opportunity here because there's a lot of people that didn't play EQ that want to play this as well now. So there's a good opportunity to find a nice spot where we, you know, can be inspired, but also do a lot of our own thing. And there's gonna be a lot more of like kind of our own thing going forward. And like I said, there's already a good amount of our own thing and deviations and cool improvements and stuff, or new systems and what have you. But those are going to become a lot more apparent and a lot more at the forefront of the gameplay. So, yeah. Again, not too worried about the criticisms, and yeah, we just got to keep making our game, keep putting out new patches, updates, and just keep doing all the good things, right? I love the mud commands, but I feel most players view them as an oversight. Will they be more relevant in the future via better UI? Yeah, we're always looking to improve the UI UX, especially with like mud commands, and also like ways to make it more intuitive to use. Because we really do like the system. It's just it can be a little bit difficult for people that like don't get it, right? Or not necessarily that they don't get it, but they have problems with the current implementation, and the current implementation is not perfect by any means, but I think that we will really do get it into a spot, and with enough content that it does feel pretty cool. No port books, please. It killed wizards. I'm gonna be honest with you. If we added port books, I'd probably be in some kind of incapacitated state. I am very against the port books. Very pro porting, having port classes, and we're actually probably going to be reducing the amount of ports, if anything. It was brought up the other night on Quados' stream, and it's something that I'm definitely going to be removing, like the Evershade wheeled wizard port. Most likely. But I think there needs to be some degree of travel in the game, right? Yeah, 3-hour boat ride hype. Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, like, if there isn't enough travel going on in the world, then, yeah, it just doesn't have the, I mean, then again, like, I really do like how, you know, like for example in EverQuest, like initially it's like a very like, okay, wow, you have to travel a whole ton, and like it kind of slows the game down a lot. But people get ports relatively quickly, and then you're kind of just like, hey, I can just port everywhere now, and it kind of makes the game a little bit more convenient, a little bit more accessible. And I think there is some niceness about that in a game that is, you know, otherwise so punishing. Because you're, and I think this is the genius of EverQuest, is you're making a game that's inconvenient, but when you work with other players and socialize with other players and talk to random people and ask other random people for favors, or tip them for help or whatever, like buffs and ports are such a game changer. So the min-max in EverQuest is literally talking to other people. Like if you start a level 1 character on Project 1999, the min-max, especially if you're starting in Freeport, but starting in Freeport and literally running to the tunnel and getting buffs, like that's like, if you have nothing else going for you, the min-max is to go talk to somebody to give you buffs. Or give you items even, or coin. Like, you know, you can kind of fish for items and coin in the tunnel as well. Like, your experience, if you know to do this, is going to be drastically different than somebody who's just starting out and is just like, what's going on? You know? So, yeah. So I appreciate, and I like that it's also part of this game as well, right? Is the min-max is just getting help. Chilling in Night Harbor, I've had way more fun than any MMORPG in decades. Yeah, it's... People are starting to get it, that it's like, just being in the world is fun. And just like, seeing what everybody's getting into, you know, trying to sell some items, maybe just trying to, you know, hang out and maybe do some, like a camp later with some friends, but you're just chilling in town, buffing, getting ready for the evening or whatever. Like, it's very much a world that people just want to be in, and that's what it's all about. But then we're also facilitating, you know, a bunch of different like play styles and stuff, right? Like, obviously you could just like focus on vertical progression, gearing into like end game stuff, or you know, you could be a crafter, or you could just be a guy who just buffs people and helps people out. Like, the world is your oyster kind of situation, right? What? I'm supposed to be social in my massively multiplayer game? Yeah, like, I would say if you're not coming into this game and, like, associating with other people, socializing, making friends, making enemies, then you're not getting everything out of the game that you really could be. You're not extracting it for its full value. And I think maybe that's the disconnect with some of the people that don't like the game or didn't like EverQuest. It's like, wow, this game is just like really punishing and like bad or whatever, right? My guess would be that a lot of those people did not attempt to socialize, or did not attempt to, you know, they probably were like, hey, let me just play this, like, you know, like kind of WoW style. Let me just like solo grind, and then they hit a certain level and it's like really hard to solo grind, maybe with the class they chose, and then they're like, this is just the worst game ever. Like, I don't get it, you know? And I don't blame it. Like, it's not super intuitive, but if you have that knowledge, you're equipped with that knowledge on how to get the most value out of the game, then the game becomes one of the greatest, you know, is talking about EverQuest. I think EverQuest is one of the greatest games and MMOs of all time. and that you can do a similar thing in Monsters and Memories is very satisfying to me, and we even have plans to support that in a bigger way. But yeah, I was pretty young. I was like 11, 12 when I started playing EverQuest. I think 11. And then I did end up going to Classic WoW, and when I was like, what, 14 or whatever? 14, 15? I can't remember. But, I really enjoyed my time with WoW. But then, like 3-4 years into WoW, I was like, man, I miss EverQuest. Like, I think I'm kind of done. Like, I was kind of done on WoW after Wrath. I wanted to go back to EverQuest and other different games and experiences. I did, obviously return just because friends like played on some of the private servers and played WoW Classic, and I got that out of my system. Had fun with it for a while, but just not the same. And I was kind of getting to those same pain points that I was back in 08 with like Wrath, of like, hey, this game started off really cool, but now it's moving in a direction that I just don't enjoy. I think the only thing that can really pull me back is vanilla, because vanilla is when the world was a world, and even as early as TBC, it starts not becoming a world anymore, and that's what I don't like. Like, I loved TBC the first go around back in the day, but the second go around this time, I was like, no. You start seeing the flaws, you start seeing the cracks, for sure. Like, for example, like all of the, I mentioned this on another stream, like all the dungeons in TBC, while they were like, it was like really structured nicely, and you had like the reputations and all this stuff, and then it would go to the raid and all the different dungeons wings, but it was also samey. Like, it was like they took like an asset pack and just was like, okay, here, let's make this hallway dungeon. Okay, here's like a big room, here's a big room, here's more hallway, and then you get to the end, and it wasn't like Blackrock Spire, Blackrock Depths anymore. It wasn't Black Fathom Deeps. It wasn't Dead Mines. It wasn't Wailing Caverns. It was just very linear. But they did up, like, I did like the, new abilities, new talents, and the difficulty increase. But at the end of the day, it just stopped becoming a world and become more of a end game simulator. What annoyance do us testers do that we can change to make your lives easier as we approach EA? Just stop boxing on the no box servers. Stop using auto hotkey, stuff like that. Anything like any kind of like automation, cheating stuff, like, we're gonna kick you out of beta, we're gonna, action your account, stuff like that. So, any, camp disputes, of course, like, try to just work out camp disputes without having to petition right away. That's always nice as well. I mean, sometimes it can't be helped, but anything that can reduce our workload on the petition front would be great. We have great GMs, and we're keeping up with things, but the less, kind of BS stuff that we have to deal with, the better, of course. Can you do in-game public executions in Night Harbor for permabans? That does seem a lot of fun, but yeah, we probably shouldn't. Probably shouldn't. I like the idea though; it's fun. Started with RuneScape and WoW. Never got to experience this EQ style of MMO, so I'm pretty excited. Nice, Iron Spartan. I hope that you enjoy it. I think it'll be a lot of fun for you. And yeah, it's fun to just play like a different kind of MMO, but still has like enough familiarity to it where it's like, okay, I kind of get what's going on here, but I kind of don't. But at least I'm killing stuff and having fun or whatever, right? Oh, come on, I remember GMs killing people in EQ. I was a guide back in the day. Yeah, but it was kind of the Wild West back then, you know? Like, if I start killing people, like, there's gonna be, like, a Reddit post, like, Monsters and Memories. Co-founder, developer, killing people in-game. And then you'll just get like the full Reddit thread of like, yeah, I never liked that guy anyways. All he did was yap and never did any work on stream. Drank a bunch of coffee. Ran around in circles pretending to work. Yeah, remember beating that guy in HOTS? Yeah, I remember that guy in HOTS. He said some colorful things to his teammates on occasion. Thanks, Nomer Gimson. Appreciate that, to be honest. When I heard the Ashes devs were messing with people in Ashes with admin commands, I stopped playing. Was that happening? I didn't hear about that. An Army of Bun, thank you for the Prime. Appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Was I a Raynor main? Spiritually, I was a Raynor main, but I was actually more of an Uther healer main. And Gazlo main. Not a Gazlo main. But, like, early on, like, Raynor and Gazlo I played a ton of, but they were, like, not very viable, right? But, dude, I played so much of them. Man, I miss playing HOTS. Yeah. It's a shame. Sounds like they're kind of trying to revive it. It sounds like there's going to be like a tournament at BlizzCon. And not that that means that's going to be revived, but I don't know. It's better than nothing. What about kiting? Seems EQ kind of nerfed it. I like kiting. I don't see anything wrong with kiting. The kind of game that we're making is like a game where we want to support tons of different like playstyles, even from like a combat sense. So like fear kiting, charm killing, charm kiting, quad kiting, root rotting. You know, like the way that abilities are designed in games like these facilitates that gameplay a lot more than a game like WoW, where WoW kind of like they make the snares like not as good or like less reliable, or you know, the CC not as good, and what's it called? Like in a lot of cases you don't even need to do it because the mobs are kind of trivial, and you know, the movement speed of mobs are like set up in a way that like it's hard to kite sometimes depending on your class. So yeah, the idea is that, you know, we're supporting a lot of different weird combat playstyles. All right, I actually got to look at doing some work here, guys. I am so sorry. So we've got all this. Now we're gonna copy this twice more. Look at the abbreviation for uncommon is UNC. Okay, and then I think it's rar. I played on Burtox, the Wraith. Is it the Wraith? Wrath, the Wraith. And then Sullen Zek. Shout out Burtox, people. Love to see it. Spent most of my time on Burtox, though, back in the day. Definitely consider myself a Burtox guy. Dude, love to see the representation. Burtox, baby. Top of the list for a while, huh? What team was I on? SC? I was neutral, short-lived, though. I played, like, late 03, like, maybe early 04. I'd say mid 03. Like late summer, I think I started. Oh wait, no, that was the Wraith. That was the Wraith. I think I didn't start on Solon until... That might have actually been 2004 for Solon. Now that I think about it. Because, again, my freshman year of high school, I made friends that I didn't know. From the other junior high. They were on Solon, so I rolled there to join them. Because I was like, wow, I met people in the wild that play EverQuest. That is crazy. Yeah, definitely I would expect some melee improvement for sure. Like, at least it's not going to feel like as bad. But yeah, we'll have to see, because there is balance changes coming. It was early MMO days, but the camaraderie on Solon Zek for each team felt good back in the day. Yeah, I would love to experience that, something like that again in M&M. The mana regen thing is a conversation that still needs to be had, but there are some ongoing conversations about regen, so it's something that I want to bring up. Mark Merrill, founder of Riot, played on the Talon's Zek server. Queen loot only was the best. Yeah, didn't Mark Merrill also place like 3rd or 4th on the Discord server, which was like that short-lived permadeath PvP server? Which was basically a honeypot for cheaters. But I think he was actually one of the top contenders on that server. I believe I saw that in an interview. Permadeath PvP seems awful. I'm sure like a small dedicated group would enjoy it, but yeah. I mean, it was kind of like an event server that they only did once. You know, it's not like I'm going to be spending my whole life on this. It was just like a short-lived thing. PK'd you a lot because you ninja something from him. Nice. Alright. We really need to lock in, guys. This is bad. This is real bad. Herder Kerr, thank you for the tier 1. It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well, Kerr. Thank you so much for the sub. We'll change common to uncommon. We'll change common to rare. Over here. Yeah, long time no see. It's good to see you in the community. Let's see here. Alright, so these should be good to go. And then... Well, actually... No, these aren't ready yet because they need to be... What's it called? Chain, leather, and plate. So it's... Second. So it goes test chain whiz. Test. Okay, so what I will do is I will copy this all 3 times. Well, twice more. We'll do... Actually, wait, that's not how I want to handle it. I will do... We'll just start with chain. And then we'll do, say... Eight. Some. I guess we could do like test. I'll do this. This makes the most sense. Change that to chain gear. Alright, let's see how that looks. Oh. Wait, did I? There we go. This is the chain stuff. So now we'll copy this. We'll change this into leather and plate. Change chain to plates. Chain to plates. Change chain to leather. Chain to leather. All right. This should be correct, I think. Loving what you've done? It's amazing. I'm glad you're loving it so much. It's been really cool to see how much the game has resonated with people and just like so many people being excited for the game and whatnot. It really is like it's very exciting. You know, it's been like kind of like a long time coming. Like we've really grinded this thing out, you know. But now, you know, to see us getting like some recognition and some people excited for the game, it's yeah, I couldn't ask for anything more. It's just amazing. So exciting. I'm glad you're all here for the ride. Appreciate it. Game's going to be huge. You've done a lot of great works. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. I really do hope that it does well. I really just want there to be a really cool MMO to play again and that people can enjoy. The scene has gone through such bad times that I think it's just time for a new MMO to captivate people, hopefully. So we're gonna do everything that we can to not mess it up. So yeah, again, thank you guys for all the support and everything. It means a lot. It means a lot. Let me run this and hope that it isn't gonna mess up. Grand Verco, thank you for the tier 1. Appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Coming in late, what are you working on? I'm just doing a bunch of busy work tonight. So, Rich Waters of EverQuest fame had joined the team a couple months back, and I hit him up about getting some test gear in the game so that we can equip it during playtests, internal playtests, or have it available on public test servers, stuff like that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm adding the NPCs that will give you this gear, essentially. And it's basically using our questing system to acquire the gear. I had a dream y'all caved and started selling items for real money. We would never. We would never. Alright, so the other thing that we need to do here is we'll grab this. So this is some of the old debug quest stuff that I had in. Man, this is gonna be a lot. So I think it was 72, yeah. As yeah. Just do this. Okay. And that is a lot of NPCs to fill out like this. So each of these is 14 different things. All right, hold on a second. Let me do this real quick. Oh man, man, this is actually gonna be so convoluted to do. Let me think about this a little bit. I was like, oh, let me just do a little busy work before bed. This is quickly becoming a lot more than I intended to chew off, but I can at least get the ball rolling on it. So let me... Daxel, I'm one of the majority owners. Can't AI help him expedite some of the more convoluted stuff? I can't really. I've messed with like a little bit. I'm a little bit nervous to put all this in there because I feel like it's kind of error prone still. But I don't know. Maybe that's just user error on my part. All right, I think we just do it. Oh, you know what? I think it would be a lot easier if I spread this out. Did it like this, potentially? So then I could... Yeah. I don't know. I gotta think on this, actually. But yeah, here, let me get some of it in, at least. Okay. Then I'll do... actually, just insert this. We'll go ahead and update this. So what we'll do with this is, well, actually, so that's 13 different items. We actually need 16. So let's do this. And let's grab all of this. Put it in here. Excellent. Go back to the DB. Copy this in. Okay. Let me see if it works. And in fact, I'm gonna make a new character real quick. we'll do that. Sorry if you answered this already, but do you think people are leveling too fast and will XP be adjusted? We think the TTK is... we think the balance of the game is a little bit too easy. So we're going to be increasing difficulty and TTK. But I still think it would be it'd be wise for us to probably increase the experience requirement a little bit, lower the XP rate a little bit, essentially. Would you consider merging Beastmaster and Ranger? Probably not. Hey Nick, I've seen a good amount of exploring in Blacktide Bay and was wondering if the itemization is still largely in flux. I've seen 7 different pairs of plate boots from the zone alone, and that seems like an absurd amount. To my understanding, and I don't know if you've played since the latest patch, there's still going to be a good amount of plate and chain in there, but we've added some other stuff, and we may still try to get some additional stuff in there. So expect more changes, but yeah, we're aware of the situation, and we've already made some changes to help, but more could be needed. Will you be resetting the server selection statistics anytime soon? Asking the people in Discord to go to select their preferred server again to update the census as to who wants to play on what type of server? Yeah, I was mentioned this earlier in the stream. So essentially, what's it called? We're going to be updating the server selections, and I think we may be requiring you to redo it. We'll be sending out an email to all accounts for M&M to participate, and we'll also be doing additional beta lottery for people who enter into the server selection pool. So look for something in the coming days on that, and then I would say redo your submission for that. What's it called? It's a decent idea, Goonie. It's just like, do we want it to be more consistent, or do we want it to be more power spiky? I kind of like the power spikes, but that is how we're doing Beastmaster now. But it kind of makes sense because it's a tame pet, right? So I don't know. I think both are compelling options. Alright, so let me summon this NPC. Search NPC. Okay. Let's hail him real quick. Oh, wait. Mess something up? Did I mess something up? Oh, yeah, this is the plate guy. Some of the chain guy. Okay, so we'll say items. Oh, that's so cool. It just auto equips like that. So look at... Oh, damn. Okay, this mask is, that's, might be a little bit better than common gear. But hey. Spell haste, okay. Maybe it just tries to include... So maybe the idea here is that, but yeah, 4 HP regen, 4 mana regen, that's pretty high for this level. But otherwise, everything is just like, oh, get rid of this. Scuffed Priest's test signet. Oh, I should probably include a second ring. So it's actually really good that I didn't just start SQLing everything out. I'm kind of testing this more. So we'll add this again. Hey, Late Night Burrito, thank you for the Prime. Appreciate that. So let's go back to the DB here. Hey! Someone just supported me on Ko-fi. Thank you, someone. I think you might have done it anonymously. Thank you, someone. I appreciate that. That was very nice of you. Very generous of you. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Okay, so we added a second ring to that. Oh, the server's shutting down. I'll have to rejoin here in a second. I could use a late night burrito? Dude, telling me. Yeah, 2 earrings I should put as well. Good call. I don't know. And then I guess I should do the bracer as well. So let's... I'm going to turn off display capture 1 second. Let's Alt F4. Let's open the patcher. Log in, update. Dude, I love the new patcher. I'm like in love with the new patcher, actually. Any idea when the next patch is? Sooner than later, actually. I think we're trying to kind of try to expedite the next patch. There's some kind of big changes we need to get in, and some like outstanding issues that are pretty bad. PvP 1, for example. Like, I feel like we need even quicker turnaround on stuff like that, for sure. So something that we'll flag for the future on, like, hey, this, you know, red alert, we need a hotfix for this stat. So all kind of kinks of beta that we'll get through and improve on. Called so let's actually just make a new guy real quick. Need a hotfix for Invis? Yeah, I know. That was an unfortunate one, but hey, that's what happens sometimes. It does happen. That's one that actually I probably could have just hotfixed the data for way sooner. So that, yeah, that's something that we just need to be better about. A lot of the invis spells are not functioning currently. There was like a data mistake essentially, and essentially the invisibility effect got removed from all the buffs, the invisibility buffs. You guys nailed the art style? Thank you. It's very nice of you to say. Test chain with 8 common. Alright. Alright. This is so satisfying. Let me do this again. Let me delete my gear. Let me say, oh, come on. Don't kill me. Leave me alone. Hey, Taste of Wine! Thank you for the donation on Ko-fi as well. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Thank you so much for your generosity. I really do appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Alright. Here it goes. Ooh, yeah. Love to see that. No shirt, that makes sense. That's just a, you know, whatever thing. Like, I can just leave my... We'll do starter... What is it? Starter shirt? Acumen IRL, thank you for the prime, by the way. We'll leave the starter on. And then... I guess we don't have a ranged slot. That is an addition that we need. So here's a request. Double check the health regen spell haste item. Shouldn't maybe not exist in uncommon sets, but also the values look high, i.e. level 8 wisdom set. The other note is ranged slot item for non-ranged classes, like caster idols, etc. That makes sense as well. Nitpicky, but ring and earring items do not have graphics, or item icons. Valid item icons. Cool. So then we also have like you receive a two-hander. Wait, is this a two-hander? No, it's a one-hander. Did I include the two-hander in this? Guess not. Let me check the DB. Item. Yeah, they're supposed to be. Two-hand. So let's add that as well. Wait, it's right here. Two-hand whiz 8 common. Okay, let me PC Quest. Yeah. What? Does this item not exist? Or does it, maybe it's Dual Priest Test Temple Staff. Ah, okay. So this is meant to be the two-hander, but it's not a two-hander. So that's another bug. Okay, so let's put that down here. Two-handers are not assigned two-handed flag in the item table. Put that above the icon thing. That's second, based on priority. Question: will there be restrictions of deities for class race choices? Or are the gods non-competitive in M&M? I think you'll be able to follow whoever you want. And I think you'll also be able to be polytheistic. There may be advantages to being monotheistic. But if you want to, you know, cheat on your god, so to say, with another god, then that'll be possible. Will there be abilities that consume your devotion? Yeah, we're looking at that, yes. But don't have specifics for you. Is that shield backwards? What's going on here? I wouldn't say that, freedom, from tyranny. I would say that expect something like that, yes. That can definitely very much be a possibility. But how we handle the gods and, like, whatever the planes end up being, that's kind of secret. Not secret, well, yes, definitely secret, but there's also still, you know, discussion and planning for some of that stuff. Yeah, the shield is, yeah, inward. Let me send this over to Zukin. Okay. Hey, Perez Dispenser, thank you for the tier 1 in 5 months. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Glad you're enjoying the stream. It's good to see you. Hey, Nick, I was watching a clip from Jeff Kaplan interview where he was discussing his EverQuest addiction, and in the comments to the video, I saw a lot of people positively talking about and suggesting M&M. I think it's great. There already seems to be a lot of word of mouth spreading that will hopefully catch the attention of other old school MMO refugees. Yeah, I hope so too. Like I was saying earlier, it'd be great. We want you for M&M, Papa Jeff. Come home. Come home to your people. But no, seriously, like, really enjoyed the interview. It really resonated with me in a lot of ways. It really made me think, you know, like, about M&M a lot, and yeah, I'm glad that the word of mouth is getting out there. Um, but yeah, man, I'm just hyped. Like, what is Jeff Kaplan doing now? He just announced his game and his company. The game is called The Legend of California. The Legend of California. So it's like a Western Gold Rush multiplayer shooter with voxels and pre-generated world seeds, and California is an island, and there's like POIs from the actual place in the world, but it's not historically accurate. It's like a, I don't know, man. It looks cool. I'm glad that he's passionate and he's making a game with a smaller team and not one that is controlled by like a huge publisher or huge investors and stuff like that. As far as I could tell, um, as far as I could tell, I don't know what their business and financial situation is, but I imagine it's a lot more free than being at Blizzard or whatever. Do you need a lesson on how to hold that shield? Yes, I do. When I fought a wisp in Keeper's Bite, I was reminded to ask, any chance of damage types being added to mobs at some point? An example like Ethereal only being hurt by magical damage instead of regular physical damage, etc. Yeah, we wanted to do something like that for a while, like a mechanic where you need like a certain level of like kind of like EverQuest had like you needed like a magical weapon to hit certain things. We wanted to do something a little bit different with that, where you have to like maybe obtain a certain level of like magic like rating to in addition to like a magic weapon to hit certain mobs. Now there has been a lot of people that have in the past asked like, will there be like if you hit a skeleton with a crushing weapon, will that do more damage? So far, we've steered away from anything like that. But if we change our minds, then you guys will definitely hear about it. But no plans for that currently. Corral Arion. Sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. Thank you so much for the 2 months. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Bane weapons? Yeah, I think we were pro Bane weapons, if I'm not mistaken. I think Bane weapons can be pretty cool. Tied into religion? Yeah, I think that would be a really cool thing. Absolutely. Fix my bear pet, please? Which bear pet? The Beastmaster one? Let me look at something real quick in the data. Oh. Actually, all I really need to do is we'll do head and we'll do bone ID. Where's that? There. Okay. So let me just do test shield. Okay, this should be actually an easy fix for me. Um, let's change bone ID equals 0 to bone ID equals 1. Okay. Nick, can Ranger toggle wolf form's illusion off? I prefer to see my character model. Yeah. You just remove wolf form, right? You know what I mean? Like, if you want the speed increase without the form, you could just use speed of the wild. You know what I mean? Are you aware that camo is broken, or is it intended to not give invis now? So my understanding was that I would have hotfixed it earlier. But I thought we were doing like a server restart, but I guess something came up where we couldn't do that or some, you know. So again, we're honing our process for hotfixing. But yes, aware that invisibility is broken, and we're gonna try to do that plus the PvP fix ASAP. Yeah, so the invis stuff is a bug. It's not intended. Rat form already OP without stats. Is that a PvP server comment? Is Burning Ember still supposed to stack? Currently is not. Also, hey, I'm back. Hey, what's up, Biggs? Long time no see. Good to see you back. Let's take a look. So, let me, hold on. I was wary about entering a new table that I haven't been looking at. Okay, that's benign. Let's do embers. Show display. Max stacks 3. Interesting. Let me... Yeah, it says 3. It's doing 3 damage. I don't know. That's weird. If you ran into it not stacking for some reason. But here, let me do it like once on this guy. Does it do 1 damage? Ah. Oh, wait. I was looking at the bat. Okay. Fire Beetle 1. Okay, now let me do another stack. Does it do 2? Does 2. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a discrepancy between production and dev, but weird. Very, very weird. I'm kind of curious now. Let me... Give me a second here. Let me look at something real quick. Let's see here. Sure. Well, Forgot I was here. That's an interesting idea, Biggs. Maybe. Let's do this. Aha, yeah. I'm seeing the same thing on here. Very, very strange. Shield abilities tonight? No, I'm working on a different little side project, which is essentially some debug NPCs for our internal test sessions. And in the process, I discovered some bugs. So just to make sure I don't like do a bunch of work that needs to be redone, I'm probably gonna fire some stuff off to Rich. Get those things resolved, and then I'll continue on the task a different time. But I just wanted to hop on. Like, I thought it was going to be like a pretty straightforward task, but it's actually kind of long and annoying, and there's some bugs. So, but it was good that I checked this stuff out, and we'll get that up and running pretty soon. But yeah, like I probably won't be on a tremendously amount much longer, just because I want to try to keep a decent sleep schedule. Been having a lot of good calls. We're like at this mode where it's like, okay, let's just do a daily call. Like, let's really just you know, it's crunch time, right? We're not like crunching per se. I mean, everyone puts in a different amount of time, like, but like, I mean, really, when it comes down to it, it is crunch time, and we need to, really just keep communicating and stuff. So, stay on top of things. But yeah, I don't know. That's weird about this Burning Embers bug. Thank you for bringing it to my attention, Biggs. Do we make sure rich nodes yield more than 1 or 2 harvests? Doesn't feel rich? They should. Unless there's some kind of bug at play. Like, rich nodes should have several hits guaranteed. I'll make a note to check on it. Skybox looks great. I think rich nodes can be 2 to 4. I don't know. I thought it was more though. But I'll double check and see if there's anything that's unintended going on. Can we make sure they drop the ore at all? That'd be cool. What do you mean? Like, do they not always drop the ore, is what you're saying? I've got 4 off regular nodes and 2 off of rich. Interesting. I've got an all brittle stone from a rich copper. Is this a new... How new of a bug this is? I could see something that maybe got introduced recently to maybe have messed that up. Because I don't know that it was ever like that before. Like, that doesn't Yeah, it's roughly new. Yeah, it sounds like something got messed up recently. Good. This is great information, guys. I might just have to have like a stream where we talk about all of the major bugs, because I really, really, really want to get to the bottom of a lot of these issues before EA. There's a lot of like low-hanging fruit polish items that just need to be hit, and there's some bugs getting introduced here and there. So it's something that we need to nip in the bud, like ASAPly. If that makes sense. We're aware of that, Ares. I don't know that it's been fixed yet, but yes. And we're asking, please don't abuse things like this. We will probably action accounts that are abusing things. I know somebody got removed from beta for exploitation, and we'll also be actioning accounts like that, especially when the game is live. Warnings, suspensions, bans if deemed necessary. So yeah, just please report and move on. Don't abuse stuff, because we are looking, and we're trying to resolve these issues as soon as possible. Are those itemized common items getting added into normal mobs? No, nothing like that. This is debug gear for internal playtests for the company, and potentially for external testers via a public test server that we do in the future, if we deem that it's feels okay enough to provide that. Of course, we wouldn't want to provide that for any kind of spoilers and stuff. It would be very focused on just testing non-spoiler stuff, and then maybe having access to some gear. Master Badman. I respect it. But there has been a decent amount of PvP friend invites floating around, so maybe you can find one. Are you able to see if a player is abusing something like infinite sprint? Yeah. Yeah, we are. What's a PvP friend invite? It's a friend invite from a PvP man saying, "Hey, come play PvP with me." You know what I'm saying? Are you aware that bug also works for stats? Interesting. I'll make a note. I wasn't aware of that, but I assume that we know about that based on how it works. I'm sure the coders kind of understand that, but maybe they don't. I don't know. I'll run it by them. I don't know if it's just visual. Yeah, it could be. Wickaslav, apparently that was an unintended little mess up. Again, we're trying to hone our processes for beta, for early access in beta. So we're trying to figure out ways to avoid introducing bugs in the future, and more quickly being able to hotfix things and stuff. And we're also, working on our customer service, and so yeah, things like this will pop up from time to time. It's just kind of the oddities that you get sometimes, but again, we're looking at ways to avoid that. Yeah. It is pretty funny, though. Dude, it's so cool to just, like, run around. Like, I was on the dev server. It's so lonely over there. But now you can just run around on beta and, like, there's people here. Like, they can't see me, I don't think. Or can they? I guess they can for a second there, but... do something funny to them. Now, we're trying to avoid the Reddit posts. Trying to avoid them. Unless they're saying nice about the game, but... the ones about me... you know... killing people... that would not be ideal. Yeah, I'll definitely do some, like, fun things, right? Like, spook people, scare them or something, but not, like, kill them. I think those are fun and relatively benign. But, yeah, like... God, it looks so comfy? It is really, really comfy. Well, the music went away, like, a long time ago, probably. Turn you into a boat. You don't want to become a boat. Boats are crazed killers. I've been killed by a boat before. Will there be GM run special events? Yeah, absolutely. You may not like it, but this is what 10 out of 10 graphics look like. Dude, it's such a pretty game. Like... and I get it, it's not the style that some people like, but I think people just need to get in here, give it a fair shake. Listen to the music, listen to the sound, watch the day-night cycle, look up at the sky. You know what's really underrated about games like these? Where it's not like WoW, where you play like this all the time, like zoomed out like version of this, you know, like you actually see the sky in this game. I was running around on TBC in Hellfire Peninsula, a TBC anniversary, which I've already quit. I played for like a week or two, and then but like looking at the sky in Hellfire Peninsula, like it was actually really cool. But you just never see it because, like, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I just play the game super zoomed out and always, like, looking down. I that's one thing I hate about WoW now, is, like, I can't really immerse myself because I have to feel like I need to, like, min-max the camera. You know? I don't know. Maybe it's a me problem. It probably is just a me problem. But... you know, the game definitely encourages and rewards it, so I don't know. I wish first person was forced. You know what would be cool? And maybe this would be extremely niche, but being able to open like a realm like that. And maybe people would just be like, I made a huge error and want to, like, transfer off. But, yeah, third person does rock. Yeah, I mean, it's just so good. Look at this guy. But, like, cool little rule sets like that, I'm not, like, entirely opposed to, honestly. Like, who does it harm, really? I mean, other than us, potentially, but... Maybe the players that choose the server and don't end up liking it, ultimately. Hurts them, but... I like giving options. I really do think having options is amazing. Pretty game. First person forced 800 by 600 resolution and boxed in UI. Chad Gamer. Are emotes like slash dance and all that fun stuff on the way before EA? Actually, yeah, I think they are. I believe the animators are doing a big push on emotes right now. So look forward for some more emotes. Forced first person, but loot is 3x higher. Yeah, that's one of the things you actually don't do, because then you're like, wow, I have to min-max this game, I have to go play the first person server, and then everyone hates themselves and doesn't want to play the game anymore. It's a flavor server, though? Yeah, but, it's one of those, like, you get a weird edge by playing on the oddball server or whatever, but I get where you're coming from. I always enjoy the Morn type emotes. Yeah. Nick isn't a masochist? Weird. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I did, have a non-trivial amount of MMO development here. It's pretty masochistic, right? Anyone remember an old EQ event where you could play as the mobs in a starting area outside Freeport / Kinos? Yeah, Project M. We were talking about that earlier. We want to do something similar eventually. But kind of systematize it more and create some smarter rules for it, so that it you can really get away with playing it on a non-PvP server, essentially. It basically was what PvP server or test server only on EQ. But if there's some like PvP control to it, I think that it just works on PvE server. Rather play Project N? Exactly. Project N. Project N comes after Project M. Yeah, you'll be able to deco it. I don't think me showing you anything would be much. Well, I don't typically show spoilers, however minute they may be, but you will be able to decorate inside the house, but it's still being worked on. Bonus XP weekends are BIS? Yeah, I think we'll have to be careful with those, right? Because I'd have to see what other guys on the team think about that, like Sean, Ali, and such. But don't want to make the leveling up too easy. People should just be hyped to play the game, hopefully. But it can be a nice, fun thing, as long as they aren't like, lasting forever being way too big of a bonus, stuff like that. Just fun events for fun items. Yeah, I'm more in the camp of just liking GM events as opposed to just like, hey, we flip the flag and now the XP is higher, right? GM events is where it's at. You know, it shouldn't be about like, oh man, I feel like I need to get through all these levels. Like, if you're not enjoying your time in the levels as you level up in the game, then there's something wrong with the game fundamentally. Like, of course, there's going to be a certain small demographic of players that are like, I just want to level as fast as possible, and then I want to get to the end game rating. You know, which we're not focusing on. I mean, we will. So I've seen this a lot. I've seen this in some of our YouTube comments as well. It's like, this game's going to be DOA. There's no end game. Well, I mean, there already is, but it's not the focus. But that being said, there's still more than EQ had at launch. And there's more going in before EA. So it's like, and I get like our messaging on it has been not great. Like, it's been inconsistent, and you know, we kind of made, as development went on, we kind of said we're okay with some degree of end game content, but again, it's not the major focus of the game, right? So that is a misconception that gets thrown around. But then again, like, if you're playing the game for endgame only, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? So, you very much should definitely enjoy the journey. But there will be a destination for those that want it. It might not but it's not going to be for everybody, right? Like, there's no instances, there's friction and competition for spawns and stuff like that. Of course, you know, there could be spawnable content and whatnot, but, you know, it's a majority of it is contested stuff. So we hope that, you know, once people get to max level, you know, there's things to do other than just doing end game encounter type deals, right? Multi-group encounters. You know, there should be really cool camps. Maybe there should be AA so you could keep grinding. There should be like cool trade skill stuff. There should be cool housing stuff, expeditions that aren't just raid, you know, like raid focused. Boat creation, like all this stuff, right? And you know, kind of RPing who you want to be in this fantasy world. Maybe you want to, you know, go around town with like a big cart and sell your wares. Maybe you're a tunnel rat, you know, auction kind of player, right? Like, we want there to be lots of alternatives to just multi-group encounters or raiding or whatever. It's never been the focus for us. We didn't want to make a raiding game, but I don't think by having some of that stuff, which we already do, that it makes it a raiding game. Now, it might make it a raiding game for certain people, but we're going to be focusing really heavily on the other stuff. Yeah, epic quests, other kinds of questing, long quest content, the race class unlocks, stuff like that. It's good to see you active. Do you think you might be able to explain the expedition system a bit more? Will we actually be able to build the ships and explore around, or is it just going to be a static load screen to and from? So initially you won't be able to build the ships. You'll probably like charter a ship, but eventually you'll just be able to build the ships, and then take them all over the place. Probably. It's maybe we do get the player made ships, player controlled ships in before expeditions. I don't know, but um the idea is that you take a ship off the main continent to really threatening waters, and the experience of that should be like quite immersive, right? Crazy waves, crazy thunderstorms, um, kind of a big kind of distance to cross. And then you get to your destination. They'll start off as like kind of islands that have like a dungeon in them. And then the dungeon is like essentially raid content. But the island itself, and potentially maybe part of the dungeon, um, doesn't necessarily need to be raid content. Like there could be some like solo gathering stuff. There could be group a lot of group content for sure. But then once you go into that dungeon, it's probably mostly going to be a raid. But this isn't something that you can just do all the time. Like you have to gather a lot of resources to do this. There's like restrictions. Like once you're there, you need to. There's no way back unless you get like rezzed back into it. So there's danger, there's risk, there's inconvenience to it. And the idea is like so that when you go to a raid dungeon, it feels like a meaningful, immersive experience. We don't want you to just like, well, let's just bind at TOV and then let's just do TOV every week. Or let's port to Skyfire and do VP, We want those experiences of going to zones like that to be an investment, an experience, a memory, immersive. Literally an expedition. We want it to be an expedition to do that. So that's the kind of the idea behind expeditions. Of course, there will be continental multi-group content as well. You've got Bone Construct over in Wormsbane, and then you also have like non-level locked encounters, which we have a few of already. For like level 60 players or like high level players. And those will actually be probably the. I wouldn't say it's the vast majority, but in terms of like multi-group, max level stuff will probably, there'll be a lot more max level stuff than there'll be the level lock stuff. The level lock stuff is kind of like experimental, level up stuff that we're trying out. But so yeah, but there will be like cool bosses at the end of a dungeon, roaming like world dragons, stuff like that, on the continent. But there won't be like any kind of like raid dungeon feeling experience is probably gonna be saved for expeditions. I think we'll probably do. I don't know how we're gonna handle that, Opeth. We'll probably there might be some kind of mechanism to prevent that, or it's something that we have to discuss for sure. Because I understand the concept, right? Like, hey, let's park our character here. Maybe it won't even feel necessary to do that, right? Because maybe the cadence of spawns is like such that it really doesn't matter. You don't need to scout those spawns. Maybe like it might not even be a thing where you need to do that. And if you did do that, it would just be like, hey, I'm wasting my character. that being said, we could also add a mechanic if we feel it's needed, but I don't know if it will even be needed per se. But potentially. We'll have to see how the spawns work. Are there level restrictions for trade skills? Can we have a purely trade skill alt? No, there is not any level restrictions for trade skills. That's a very intentional thing. We did not want to have any level restrictions for any of the trade skills. And there's no plans to add any. Thanks, Aries. I'll make a note. Do you anticipate trade skill no drop items? I think for some special recipes, there will be some adventuring that you need to get a no drop item. But I think there might already be that. But I could also see that being, I could see that being a good and bad thing. Right? But maybe there's some way of, maybe this isn't the best idea or best solution, but just as a vague example, like the whole not trade slot, you know what I'm talking about in WoW, where it's like you have the trade slots, but then you have the modification trade slot where you can't, it's like a no drop item, but you can, maybe like a crafter can like leverage that somehow as an exception to help deal with the fact that like maybe you're a level 1 crafter. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe, you know, it's just tough luck for that kind of thing. But that's another thing I'll have to bring up to the guys, because I'm not too... My opinion on that isn't too strong either way. I'd have to see if the guys have any more stronger thoughts on it than I do. But I see the benefits to both options there, certainly. Yeah, you're welcome, Aries. Thank you for the bug reports and the reminders. Appreciate it. F-Love, no. I mean, level 1s could mine stuff, but like, if you're saying that there's going to be botting and teleport hacking and stuff, like, we're not gonna stand for that kind of stuff. We're gonna ban anybody that manages to create a bot to do that, or God forbid a teleport hack type deal. Like, we would always be heavily on top of things like that. Ban people and look for ways to stay ahead and patch the game and try to break those types of things if they became available. Yeah, that makes sense, Sandcloves. Like, despawning, or, you know, despawning when there's not an active expedition going on, or, you know, other different mechanics or spawn kind of paradigms. And yeah, like, the need for supplies and the need for, like, you know, stuff weighs a lot, or, you know, there's going to be a lot of friction with expeditions. It's not, like, if you manage to somehow stay on the island and there's, like, no mechanic to prevent it, it's still going to be, like, I don't know, not a great, maybe, hopefully not a great use of your time. But again, we're still designing the low-level details for expeditions. Our faction increases higher with a named mob. That's a thing that I wouldn't really spoil. So I can't really say. Could be yes, could be no. Could be a mix. What biomes are you excited to explore that haven't been made yet? Well, we've done a little biome jam, so we've made like a good handful of biomes, just in like a test format. But if you discluded those, man, I don't know. It's kind of hard because I definitely like snow and lava biomes for sure. I enjoy those a lot. Swamp for sure would be pretty cool. Deep for sure. Like obviously we've had some deep zones and then we removed them, but excited for module 1 for just the deep expansion. It's gonna be a lot of fun. New races, new zones, new city, new locations. Like this is gonna be cool. Because one of the major differentiators of Monsters and Memories is that we're gonna feature a full underground zone connection map with a vast, deep area, essentially, kind of like an Underdark, right? And it's not just like here's a one-off here, here's a one-off there. Like it's literally a underground zone connection map that spans the entire continent and potentially beyond, right? So yeah, that's one of the most exciting aspects of the game for me, and the world building and the biomes. So I would say deep is probably up there, if not number 1. Fourth dimension zones? Yeah, we want to get really crazy with some stuff. Like, it's just all in time, right? And when and where it makes sense. Will the introduction of deep zones impact the surface zones in any permanent way? I.e., a sinkhole appears in Shaded Dunes that leads to the deep? That wasn't there previously? Maybe. I'd be hesitant to like affect the zone in any dramatic way. The entrances are likely to be subtle and maybe hidden sometimes. Maybe we do design like a new zone around having like a prominent entrance. I could see that, but the existing zones, you know, I don't see like making any kind of like drastic change. We kind of already have like ideas where we want to place the zone lines in the existing zones. But I could totally see a new zone having a significant part of it be an entrance to the deep. Will top end crafting gear be similar in power to raid gear? We're still determining what the power of raid gear will be too, right? Like we want you to get a lot of your bis from grouping content. Maybe like one group encounters and stuff like that. So we still need to kind of better design out that paradigm and make changes to the already existing content as needed. That being said, you know, if you are getting some of these like harder targets, multi-group targets down, like you should definitely get a nice reward. But should it be so all-encompassing that you're fully equipped in raid gear, like in a trivial way? I don't know. I think there should be some standout pieces, but a lot of your gear should definitely be like rare named drops, right? Like the best drop from each named. I think those should be comparable, certainly, and maybe should even be the bulk of your gear, for a long time at least. So, and then you know you also have like epic quests and stuff like that that should also be like in the bis conversation, maybe not bis, but like very significant. But I could definitely see crafting having a pretty nice opportunity to get you some like items that are also in the bis conversation, right? Or maybe are bis. Because especially if you have to combine adventuring with crafting to get like a really nice item, I think those items should be really stand out as well. But again, there should be a mixture. Like maybe you have to get like 2-3 of those or 4 of those. Maybe you have to get like 4 multi-group drops. Maybe you have to get 4, like maybe you have to get like 8 to 10 named rare drops. So yeah, I think a healthy mixture of everything and not just like bissing out in one sphere of the adventuring. Hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully that gets conveyed in a meaningful way in the game. And if it doesn't, then we'll work on it and improve. But hey, guys, I'm kind of starting to go over the time that I wanted to be on stream. So I'm going to fire off those keys real quick, and then we're probably going to call it. We kind of explored that debug gear tonight. We found some issues with it, so we're going to fire those off to Rich, and then we'll work on that another time. And hey, a Teragram, thank you so much for the support on Ko-fi. I really appreciate it. It's very generous of you. Thank you. And hey, thanks to everybody else who subbed and donated on Ko-fi and followed the stream even, or just showed up and chatted. Like, I appreciate it all. Appreciate you all. Thank you guys so much for all the support. But, all right, let's fire off those keys and call it an evening. So I'm gonna hit the button now, guys. Powerful stream? Thank you, Mr. Jigs. So let us do Zachary. Knock Knock 398. Rex Pop. Veldar. And Zerical Jr. Congrats. Congrats, guys. You are tonight's winners. Feel free to reach out if you're here and send me a whisper. Otherwise, if you're not here, I'll send you a whisper. And all I need from you is your M&M account email. And sent a message in chat. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Let us find somebody to raid. Let me see first if there's anybody from the team online. Not seeing anybody, so let's head over to the directory. See if we can't find somebody to raid. Yeah, I think I've got a target for this evening. I got a target for this evening. So I'm trying to share the love as much as possible. You know, usually I've got some people that I like to raid because I know you're gonna have a good time. But and I guess this is kind of another person that I've raided in the past, but I haven't raided him in a while. So let's head over to Acolyte of Eltindra. Acolyte of Eltindra. We'll head over there this evening. But yeah, I do want to share the love to everybody in the community because I appreciate everybody for streaming the game, and I feel bad that I can't just raid everybody every night. So thanks again, guys, for tuning into the stream. It was a lot of fun. And again, thanks for all the follows, subs, donos. I appreciate it a lot. And yeah, hopefully try to maybe get another dev stream in maybe this weekend. So hopefully see you guys soon. But let's start off that raid. Let's start that raid. All right, have a good one, everybody. You're very welcome, guys. Have a good one.